Revisit our top story. President Xi Jinping addressing the UN General Assembly today, talking about a variety of subjects, including climate change, and also touching briefly, as Nathan King pointed out, the issue with the United States withdrawal from Afghanistan and the new AUKUS agreement with Australia and the UK. We want to turn to Victor Gao. He's in Beijing to kind of get an analysis from him. He is the chair professor at Soochow University. Victor, I guess if you were to look for a headline from President Xi Jinping's taped address, and you were just coming up with one word, it'd be coal. He had a major pledge regarding coal-fired power projects overseas. Talk to us a little bit about that and your reaction.
Well, this is a very important point President Xi Jinping made, because China by now is the biggest producer of coal-fired electricity, not only at home in China, but also China has committed to build or help build many coal-based power plants across the world, mostly along the One Belt, One Road initiative. This was considered to be very helpful to especially developing countries who need power to engage in greater amount of economic development. But I think, as President Xi Jinping emphasized today in his important speech, China will stop financing or building any coal-based power plant in the world ever since now. And this will be China's commitment to help fight against the carbon emission. And this, I hope, will go a big way in helping mankind achieving a better balance in terms of climate change and achieving China's goal of carbon peaking and carbon neutrality, respectively, in 2030 and 2060.
And Victor, he also went a step further, saying that China is going to step up more economic efforts for these green projects in developing countries. That was also a major pledge.
Absolutely. I think inside China, China is already very much involved in promoting green financing, green development, green building, and the new mode, shifting to the new mode of economic development. Now, in China's engagement with the rest of the world, especially in promoting the Belt and Road Initiative, China needs to catch up. And this will be done in light of the specific circumstances of each of the country involved, because we know that each country has different economic situation, they have different challenges, etc. So it will involve a greater balance and negotiations and mutual discussions between China on the one hand and each of these major countries going forward. It will be more difficult, but this is a task that China and all the other countries must do, because eventually we are dealing with only one single climate change impact, and we want to do everything together to make sure that climate change no longer holds mankind hostage.
And it was a wide-ranging speech. I mean, we were focusing on climate change, but he also talked about building a global community of development with a shared future, poverty alleviation, and addressing the pandemic. What was the other takeaway for you during this speech?
Well, I think the major takeaway is that mankind is now faced with lots of issues involving different challenges. Many of these things cannot be done or cannot be achieved as a goal by any single country, big or small. International cooperation is a must, and major countries like China and also probably the United States and others need to really find a common ground to figure out a way to move forward together. And hostility and confrontation will not work. It will hurt mankind's interest as a whole. I think only emphasizing international cooperation and figuring out a way to deal with these challenges on a global scale through international efforts will mankind eventually be the winner.
Victor Gao spending some of his morning with us, and we appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for having me. Thank you.
A scaled down mid